Good evening, everyone. My name is Ashwini. My presentation topic is human resources. Human resources is a set of people who make up the workforce of an organization, business sector, industry, or economy. A narrower concept in human capital. The knowledge and skills which the individual command. Similar terms include manpower, labor, personnel, associates, or simply people. The human resource department of a organization performs human resource management, over, overseeing various aspects of employment such as compliance, compliance with labor law and employment standards, interviewing, administration of employee benefits, organization, organizing of employee files with the required documents for future reference, and some aspects of recruitment and employ. They serve as the link between an organization management and its employees. HR responsibilities. Human resource management managers are in charge of every aspect of the employee life cycle in an organization. The responsibilities of HR include preparing or updating employment records related to hiring, transferring, promoting, and terminating. The duties include planning, recruitment, and selection, selection process, post job ads, evaluating the performance of employees, organizing resumes and job applications, scheduling interviews, and assisting in the process, and ensuring background checks. Another job is payroll and benefits administration, which deals with ensuring vacations and sick time are accounted for, reviewing payroll, and participating in benefits tasks like claim resolutions, reconciling benefit statements, and approving invoices for payments. HR also coordinates employee relations activities and programs, including but not limited to employee counseling. The last job is regularly maintenance. This job makes sure that the current HR files and database are up to date, maintaining employee benefits and employment status, and performing play, payroll benefits related to reconciliation. reconciliation. Development. Human resource companies play an important role in developing and making a company organization at the beginning or making a success at the end. Due to the labor provided by employees, human resources are intended to show how to have better employment relations in the workforce. Also, to bring out the best work ethic of the employee, and therefore making a move to be a better working environment. Planning, administration, and operations used to be the two role areas of HR. The strategic planning component came into play as a result of companies recognizing the need to consider HR needs in goals and strategies. HR directors commonly sit on the company executive teams because of the HR planning functions, numbers and types of employees, and the evolution of the compensation system are among elements in the planning role. Various factors affecting human resources planning, organizational structure, growth, business location, demographic changes, environmental uncertainties, expansion, etc. Additionally, this area encompasses the realm of the talent management. Thank you.
Yeah, Ashwini, you have done very well. In fact, in Government of India, HRD is known for Education Department, Human Resource Development. But recently, Government of India has changed it to Education Department. Earlier, it was Human Resource Development. In private companies, that is the most important function. After all the rounds of interviews are over, you go to the HR department and the HR expert, who is the director of the HR, which you have just now told, he conducts the interview and the package is fixed. So HR is very, very important. As you told in your presentation also, they look after the transfers, they look after the promotions, they look after the packages and all the benefits to the employees who are employed in that particular company. In private organizations, HR has a more important role. In government, there is no such HR department. The Union Public Service Commission, they conduct the interviews and they select the people. But the most important thing in all private and public sector and government is the public relations. Human resources and public relations, these go side by side, and the public relations department actively participates with the consumers, with the beneficiaries, with the stockholders and the company. If an employee has a difficulty in getting through the HR department, the public relation department, they coordinate with them and finally the argument is over. So now we move on to the second person.
Yeah, next, Pearlie said she is not ready today. We can start with Aditi.
Yeah, Aditi is energy resources in India.
Ma'am, can I do it next?
After the next, after this.
Yes,
Okay.
after the next person.
Right. So Sneha, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am. I'll just present my screen.
Water resources.
Water resources.
Yes, sir.
Very good.
Is my screen visible, ma'am?
Yeah, ma. Right.
Water resources in India. India accounts for about 2.45% of world's surface area, 4% of world's water resources, and about 16% of world's population. The total water available from precipitation in the country in a year is about 4,000 cubic kilometers. The availability from surface water and replenishable groundwater is 1,869 cubic kilometers. Out of this, only 60% can be put to beneficial uses. Thus, the total utilizable water resources in the country is only 1,122 cubic kilometers. Surface water resources. There are four major sources of surface water. These are rivers, lakes, ponds, and dams. In the country, there are about 10,360 rivers and their tributaries longer than 1.6 kilometers each. The annual flow in all the river basins in India is estimated to be 1,869 cubic kilometers. However, due to topographical, hydrological, and other constraints, only about 690 cubic kilometers, 32% of the available surface water can be utilized. Water flow in a river depends on size of its catchment area or river basin and rainfall within its catchment area. Some of the rivers in the country like Ganga, the Brahmaputra and the Indus have huge catchment areas. Given that precipitation is relatively high in the catchment areas of Ganga, the Brahmaputra and the Barak rivers. Groundwater resources. The total replenishable groundwater resources in the country are about 432 cubic kilometers. The Ganga and the Brahmaputra basins have about 46% of the total replenishable groundwater resources. The level of groundwater utilization is relatively high in the river basins lying in the northwestern region and the parts of South India. The groundwater utilization is very high in the states of Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan, and Tamil Nadu. However, there are states like Chhattisgarh, Odisha, Kerala, etc., which utilize only a small proportion of their groundwater potentials. States like Gujarat, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Tripura, and Maharashtra are utilizing their groundwater resources at a moderate rate. Lagoons and backwaters. In India has a vast coastline and the coastline is very intended in some states. Due to this, a number of lagoons and lakes are formed. The states like Kerala, Odisha, and West Bengal have vast surface water resources in these lagoons and lakes. Although water is generally brackish or salty in these water bodies, it is used for fishing and irrigating certain varieties of paddy crops, coconut, etc. Water demand and utilization. India has traditionally been an agrarian economy, and about two-thirds of its population have been dependent on agriculture. Hence, development of irrigation to increase agricultural production has been assigned a very high priority in the 5-year plans, and multi-purpose river valleys projects like Bhakra Nangal, Hirakud Damodar Valley, Nagarjuna Sagar, Indira Gandhi Canal Project, etc. have been taken up. Demand of water for irrigation. In agriculture, water is mainly used for irrigation. The large tracts of the country are deficient in rainfall and drought prone. Northwestern India and Deccan Plateau constitute such areas. Winter and summer seasons are more and less dry in most part of the country. Hence, it is difficult to practice agriculture without assured irrigation during dry seasons. Even in the areas of ample rainfall like West Bengal and Bihar, breaks in monsoon and its failure creates dry spells detrimental for agriculture. Water need of certain crops also makes irrigation necessary. For instance, water requirements of rice, sugarcane, jute, etc. is very high, which can be met only through irrigation. Provision of irrigation makes multiple cropping possible. It has also been found that irrigated lands have higher agricultural productivity than unirrigated land. Further, HYV of crops need regular moisture supply, which is made possible only by developed irrigation systems. In fact, this is why that Green Revolution strategy of agriculture development in the country has largely been successful in Punjab, Haryana, and Western Uttar Pradesh. In Punjab, Haryana, and Western Uttar Pradesh, more than 85% of their net sown area is under irrigation. Wheat and rice are grown mainly with the help of irrigation in these states. Of the total net irrigated land area, 76.1% in Punjab and 51.5% in Haryana are irrigated through wells and tube wells. This shows that these states utilize large proportion of their groundwater potential. This is the map which shows the poor quality and good quality of water found. Deterioration of water quality. Water quality refers to purity of water or water without unwanted foreign substances. Water gets polluted by foreign matter such as microorganisms, chemicals, industrial, and other waste. Such matters deteriorate the quality of water and render it unfit for human uses. When toxic substances enter lakes, streams, rivers, oceans and other water bodies, they get dissolved or lie suspended in water. This results in pollution of water, whereby quality of water deteriorates, affecting aquatic water systems. Sometimes these pollutants also seep down and pollute groundwater. The Ganga and the Yamuna are two highly polluted rivers in the country. Thank you.
No, well presented, Sneha. You have done very wonderfully well. It was very elaborate and informative and effective. In fact, in Hindu culture, we treat rivers as God. So we call Godavari Mata, Ganga Mata, and every 12 years, Pushkaras are conducted in each river. We have 12 rivers and 12 Jupiter, when it passes from one to other, the Pushkaras are conducted and they are celebrated in a very big manner. The water resources are the main purposes for irrigation and agriculture also. You have already mentioned it. And the Ganga rejuvenation, which you said about the water pollution, they have separately maintained a ministry for that. Until recently, Uma Bharati was the minister for that. And they're spending crores of rupees for the Ganga rejuvenation. And to control the floods also, we are trying to control the floods through different various methods. And there was a proposal by late Dr. K.L. Rao, who was the irrigation minister in Nehru's cabinet and Indira's cabinet. He maintained a very big idea, which is known as Ganga Kaveri Garland Canal Scheme. If you connect both Ganga and Kaveri, both from north and south, it will create a lot of energy resources and water resources also. The Dastur company has given a proposal to conduct it, and at that time about 1,000 crores of rupees were needed. But Nehru said it's not possible to have it at this point of time. But still it is going on and the proposal is still pending for the thing. We have southern rivers, Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri, Tungabhadra and Penna. And at the northern side, we have the Ganga, Brahmaputra and Yamuna. These are the perennial rivers which we have. As you mentioned, Sneha, groundwater resources are being tapped now. There is a separate department for that, and it is known as groundwater resource development. In state governments also, they are proposing these groundwater resources to be tapped. And as you said very correctly, water pollution is #1 danger in our country, and Government of India is trying to create water unpolluted, and it may take some more years to have a pure water. And now we are depending upon the distilled water and the carriage water, but we may have to think of a pure water in the years to come. Now we'll go to the third person, that is Vishnu.
Yes.
Vishnu. Vishnu.
Vishnu is sharing the screen.
Yeah, please. Yes, that is more important.
Shall we start it again? Otherwise, Vishnu, only 9 minutes are left out. We'll start the meeting again.
I think he will complete by 9 minutes.
Okay, then continue.
Then we can go to the last person, Aditi.
Right.
Yeah, please complete Vishnu within 9 minutes.
Yes. Good evening, sir. Good evening, ma'am. So today my topic is about employee state insurance scheme. So employee state insurance is a public social security and health insurance fund for Indian workers. The fund is managed by Employee State Insurance Corporation according to ESI Act 1948. So ESIC is a statutory and body under the Ministry of Labour and Employment. In March 1943, Professor B.P. Adakar was appointed by the Government of India to create a report on health insurance scheme for industrial workers. So this report became the basis of the Employment State Insurance Act of 1948. So scope. The provisions of ESI Amendment Act of 1975 were extended to the following new classes of establishments. They are like small factories employing 10 or more persons, transport establishments, newspaper establishments, and the scheme also more persons in some states. Administration. So the administration of ESI scheme under the Act is entrusted by an autonomous body called as ESI Corporation. The Union Minister for Labour is the chairman, and the Secretary of the Ministry of Labour is the vice chairman. It consists of members representing central and state government, employers and employees organization, medical professions, and parliament. There is a stand. So the chief executive officer of the corporation is the director general, who is assisted by the 4 principal officers. The present director general of the ESI is Mukmeet S. Bhatia. So he is assisted by the 4 principal officers. They are insurance commissioner, medical commissioner, financial commissioner, and an actuary. There is a medical benefit council which is headed by the Director General of Health Services, Government of India, who is assisted by the medical commissioner in all matters relating to medical relief. Its head office in New Delhi, and it has 23 regional offices, 26 sub-regional offices, and 2 divisions, 2 divisional branches, and 24 branches. So, given the huge are about and widespread includes full medical care. ESI gives coverage about 185 lakh family units of about 165 lakh employees, including 26.79 lakh females. Medical facilities are provided through a network of 1384 ESI dispensaries, over 2,100 panel clinics, and 307 diagnostic centers. Beside 151 ESI hospitals and 42 hospitals with over 27,000 beds. So the finance. The scheme is run by contribution of the employers as well as employees and the grants from the central and state governments. The employer contributes 4.75% of total wage, and the employee contribute 1.75% of his wages. So employees getting daily wages below rupees 70 are excluded for the payment of contribution. The state government share the expenditure on the medical care is 1/8 of the total medical care. Benefits to the employees. The Act has made provisions for the following benefits to ensure the persons or the other dependents as case may be: medical benefits, sickness benefits, maternity, disablement, dependent, funeral, and rehabilitation allowance. Medical benefits. In areas having a concentration of 1,000 or more employees, family units, service dispensaries are established with full-time medical and paramedical personnel. In areas where the employees are less than 750, part-time ESI dispensaries are established. If residential concentration of employees is scattered over a long distance, mobile dispensaries are established. Indirect pattern. Registered medical practitioners designated as insurance medical practitioners are appointed to provide medical care. Sickness benefit. The benefit is payable for maximum 365 days. The daily rate being about 50% of average daily wages. Extended sickness benefit. In addition to 91 days of sickness benefit, insured persons suffering from a certain long-term diseases are entitled to extended sickness benefits for a maximum period of 2 years. That 4 diseases for which extended sickness benefit with the effect from January 1st, 2001 is payable in case where the insured person has been continuous employment for 2 years. Maternity benefit. The benefit is payable in cash to insure the woman for miscarriage or sickness arising out of pregnancy or premature birth of child. The rate of confinement expenses has been increased to 2,500 to 5,000 per confinement. The benefit is not allowed at about all full wages. Disablement benefit. The Act provides for cash payment besides free medical treatment in the event of temporary or permanent disablement as a result of employment injury as well as occupational diseases. The rate of temporary disablement benefit is about 90% of the wages as long as the temporary disablement lasts. In case of total or permanent disablement, the insured person is given life pension worked out on basis of the loss earning capacity dependent benefit. In case of death as a result of employment injury, the dependents of the insured person are eligible for periodical payments. An eligible son or daughter is entitled to dependents benefit up to age of 18. Benefit is withdrawn if the daughter is married earlier. Pension at the rate of 90% of the wages is payable shared by the dependents in the fixed ratio. Only monthly basis in accordance with the prescribed share. Funeral expenses. Funeral bill, the amount not exceeding rupees 10,000. Rehabilitation. On monthly payment of rupees 10, the insured person and his family members continue to get medical treatment after permanent disablement or retirement. Thank you.
Yeah, nice presentation, Vishnu. In fact, Government of India has several schemes, particularly for the government employees. With the central government employee, they have a CGHS. With the state government employees, state government health scheme is there. And nowadays, Arogya Shri is there. And from the Government of India side also, Arogya, Bima, and all these things are there. Particularly for the private employees, these ESI hospitals, they are doing very well. Madam, we will rejoin.
Yes, sir. Please join again, children.